Nearly all THC products would be banned here in Texas and many other states if a new rule buried in the federal spending bill passes the House tomorrow.
The funding bill would reopen the government after the shutdown, but it also closes a loophole that triggered the widespread growth of the THC industry. Fox 4's David Centenary spoke to some business owners about that ban and what it would mean in Texas and to them. David.
Yeah, Stephen, Heather, this flew under the radar, and now what Texas lawmakers spent months debating might be decided just within a matter of days at the federal level.
Why do they not want the American public to have access to this? Why?
Chris Fagan owns Be Hippie in Garland, a shop selling all sorts of items, including THC hemp, a product which has federal lawmakers talking.
Why that would be used as leverage to open the government.
On Monday evening, U.S. senators passed a spending bill moving one step closer to ending the government shutdown. But language unexpectedly added to the bill would criminalize hemp-derived THC products across the country.
I'm not sure why we wanted to use that as fodder to open up the federal government again, but it does not make any sense in my mind's eye.
Earlier this year, Texas lawmakers debated a statewide THC hemp ban, but instead of banning it, Governor Greg Abbott signed an executive order to highly regulate products and stores. Banning THC has split some Republicans. On Tuesday, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick reheated his favor of a ban, posting to X, "I believe this ban will save a generation from getting hooked on dangerous drugs." Meanwhile, Republican U.S. Senator Rand Paul, whose amendment to drop the THC ban from the spending bill failed, spoke about the bill banning hemp even with amounts of THC so low that people do not feel a high.
The numbers put forward in this bill will eliminate 100% of the hemp products in our country. That amounts to an effective ban because the limit is so low that the products intended to manage pain or anxiety will lose their effect.
The U.S. House of Representatives will now debate the bill and language. President Trump would need to sign a final version. In Texas, veterans groups regularly spoke in support of THC hemp products.
And we provide a 30% off discount for all veterans.
Fagan is a veteran who says people frequent his store not to get high, but to heal.
And so we have a large population that is looking for natural remedies that aren't pharmaceutical based. It's going to funnel a giant black market, which is going to hurt a lot of people.
So if you're wondering how your senators here in Texas feel about this, Senator Ted Cruz opposed that language that would ban hemp THC. He believes it's more of a state matter. Senator John Cornyn is on board with it. We'll keep following the story, but for now, Steve and Heather, back to y'all.
Okay, David Centenary, nice information. Thank you.